international world champion, author, writer, multiple karate school owner, former vet, and retired private school educator. That resume is pretty impressive.
Thank you, Uni. I appreciate that. I know you are a great mom. Besides that, you love to be a sports mom and a special needs mom. You work for at Level Up, the operations manager. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that is correct.
And you oversee most of the personal training. In fact, you're one of my personal trainers, and that's why we become the yin and yang.
Wait, one? I thought I was the only one.
Well, I have teachers in martial arts, so there's trainers, there's just different type of trainers.
Okay. Um, so we're here today to introduce karate and fitness as an alternative way to balance your mind, body, and spirit. And I feel like we're the real life, Daniel's son and Mr. Miyagi. You're my real life Miyagi. And, together we're diving into how karate and fitness can shape confidence and self esteem and self control and smarter choices. So, the question I have for you is how do you feel karate builds confidence and smarter choices in life?
Well, I believe you have to trust the process of karate because it builds confidence by coming to the school, practicing, practicing, practicing. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Just keep practicing. So, basically, the karate builds confidence because it works on critical thinking. So, with the critical thinking, you're doing sparring, you're doing kata, you're doing all that, and you're building your self esteem. In fact, personal training is another way to do that. So, I'm going to ask you the same question. How does physical training help teens and adults and even young children in terms of their confidence, feeling good, and muscle strength?
I know for me, fitness trains my mind. And when it trains my mind, I make better choices. And it also just has paved the way for me as a child to cope. And I realized that with a lot of my clients that once they embrace it, they become more confident with the routines. And, it's a very layered question because there's
Right.
just so many ways to start and so many people have different, I do this, I do that. And it's not only one thing that works for anyone. So I feel like having fitness at such a young age for me and being surrounded by people who are fitness oriented, those are the people who I tend to gravitate to. And I feel like those
Indeed,
people
indeed.
have success in with their children, with work, or even with their pets. So to me, I just feel like fitness has been something that trains my mind, my body, and training my body helps me make those difficult choices every day and sticking to that
Sounds
too.
great. Sounds great. So I'm gonna go off topic because I know you do nails. So you are operational manager at your nail salon, and what's the name of the place?
Well, it's Alma Dream Nail Salon, and they are my second family. And I don't do nails, which everyone is like, "Oh my God, you do nails!" But they're my second home, which is crazy because it's like, how does a trainer and nail salon work? But it's all like my family. It's self care. They are like an amazing group of people. So I do the operations, I do the appointments, I create the vibe for the
Great.
place.
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, I'm a Dream Nail Salon and Level Up. Those are aside from I spend more time there than I actually spend in my own home.
Wow. Sounds like a good place to go to for nails. It really does. So my next question to you, we talked about we're both the real yin and yang. So my question to you is, how do you feel that works in fitness and in martial arts? How would you explain that in your own words?
Well, seeing it firsthand, I didn't really understand and I say karate now because before I was saying karate. And when I first met you, I was like, okay, this guy is all about meditation and he's all about peace and he's very godly. And, but you always came in with this calm and this peace. And every time you walked into the studio, I was like, wow, this guy's like super chill. And when we worked together on some social media projects and I went into the dojo, I felt like I was in a karate movie, like a karate movie, like to see you so disciplined outside of the dojo,
Yes.
and then bringing that into the dojo was amazing to me, and it inspired me to want to like really dig in. And not to say that I didn't embrace karate as a kid, because you know that's the whole purpose of us being here today, because we're using the Karate Kid as the inspiration of our topic of the confidence and avoiding confrontation and tying in karate and fitness. I do see how both of them are a beautiful marriage. I'm so proud of you, and I shouldn't say proud of you, because when I walked into the dojo and I saw all of your accomplishments and I saw all of the books and all the magazines and all of the people that were like Grandmaster, Grandmaster, and they were pulling you from and you were just calm. But to see the actual practice come to life and to see what you do with me and actually put all that together, I was like, wow, I was really impressed. I was kind of like sweating you a little bit after that, because at first I was like, damn, I kind of judged them a little bit. I was like, that's messed up. That was really messed up that I went in there and I was just like, this guy's all granola and all peaceful and all chill. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But you humbled me.
Thank you.
And it's still great to see that. How long have we been training together
Over
now?
a year and a half almost. And in fact, while we're talking about training, I was trained originally with Pat from Level Up, and then I realized Pat Mingles,
who's an amazing,
he's
trainer,
a great trainer. And he had his schedule change, and I needed a new trainer. So as I looked around, I saw your swag, as they say.
Yeah.
And I realized, okay, we come from similar cloths, and I think she could at least call me when I need to be called upon something. Not worry about that. Oh, he's the grandmaster who hits faster or whatever.
You rhyming now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm with Uni T, who's in the place to be. So
Okay, let's get this guy signed.
So basically, I realized you were very serious, very passionate in your training, and you didn't give anybody any slack, because people get lazy and they want to do what they want to do, but you have a schedule, you have a game plan, and you have a goal setting, so they can get to their purpose of either losing weight, building bulk, whatever it might be. And I see that you're serious. And I said, I think I could.
We
she
bonded
could compliment
before,
me.
yeah. Before we got together, we were kind of like, we'll fist bump each other. And
Right.
You'll make me change the music.
Right. I'm all about the freestyle.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, this is bringing me down. Like I can't. Like I'm not
I need
vibing
some
to this.
upbeat music. Yeah.
Yeah. And then before you start, you would always do your, And I'm like, here we go. Okay, this guy's, And then you would ask me, did I meditate? And I'm like, no. I didn't meditate today. And then the one day that I actually meditated, everything hit the fan after that. But then you were like, but that's because it's like a downpour of everything coming together. And I was like, here we go, Confucius. We're coming with all of the positive stuff. But you know me.
Yes,
and
yes.
you are the true, we are the yin and yang, because when you do walk in,
Right.
and you acknowledge everybody, and you look at me and you go, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm good. Why? Do I? And you're like, you're not okay. And I'm like, oh, like you sensed it.
Right,
you felt it. And that's that, like, Miyagi. That's Miyagi style. That's
right.
like, you are. And of course, when as a kid, I was actually looking at the age that we're not going to talk about how old we are.
Right,
But
right.
but when I said, we would always say, when we wanted to collaborate and we wanted to use the Karate Kid as something that, like, oh, I get it. I get the Karate Kid. I get it. I understand he had to go through a lot. I understand that he had to train hard. I understand that it didn't come overnight. I learned that early, and that was a different time.
Right.
But now you're doing that during this time. And I worry about, like, the karate practice, because I feel
yes.
like it's, I don't want to knock it because I don't want to get attacked for this, but I do feel like people are like shying away from it. And
Sure. You know what it is? MMA is a new craze. It's on the rise, and traditional martial arts, we don't have, we don't put it out there in terms of marketing as much as we should. Where MMA, they do fantastic marketing, and
they do. And then when you did some of
so
your
people see
marketing,
that, yeah.
some of your marketing is very,
Yes.
but you stay true to the authenticity of what the practice is, because when you walk into your dojo, you feel like you're in tong 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 tong. Like you walk into something, you make people take their shoes off, you make people bow, you still continue the traditions
Right.
of what the practice is. And when I walk in, I'm like, let me be quiet and let me just take a minute and respect the practice and respect the area that you're in. But of course, that does spill out into what you do every single day, and you're doing that for all walks of life.
Right.
You're doing that for all walks of life. Because when I walk in there, I'm like, what is going on in here? And it looks like it's. I don't want to say the wrong word, because it's very edgy and very corporate. And then you throw in a couple of special needs situations, and it could
Right.
be complete chaos. But it's all uniform.
Right.
And I feel like that's the Miyagi way of learning how to. I mean, that's Austin Wright, of course, the Grand Master, of course, and your years of experience of learning how to make all of your dojos that way.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, I'm thinking about different things as we go through this conversation. And I know we talked about your emotional, because martial arts help mind, body, spirit. But this time, the last 20 years, we've been focusing more on emotional issues that people have. And I want to say issues because we all have emotional problems, ups and downs. And everybody, expresses themselves differently. So you're passionate, and when you have something going on, you like to get it out verbally. You're very dramatic, drama.
I'm very
drama.
dramatic. I own
and
up
it's
to
okay.
that.
It's okay. That's your personality. It's great. That's what works for you. And you know what? You're open-minded to listen, to become better than yesterday. We're people under construction. So
Big
we're
time.
all under construction all the time. We all make mistakes. I don't like to use that word sin. We all make mistakes, and we got to learn from them. We have to learn from that. So we're all, people under construction. That's the phrase of the day. Because I believe that, you were good one day, but you could be better tomorrow. And you got to put a strategy, and you have to give a plan of action. So mental is very important in this day and age because, as you know, we work with special needs, and then we also work with everybody else. But you can see there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress.
I didn't even know that you had so much experience and knowledge when it comes to special needs. And I always feel like you have to be a special person to deal. I don't want to say deal because you don't want to deal. Like you embrace it.
Embrace it.
You
Absolutely.
embrace it. I have a son with autism, so that's a very challenging day to day. And
Absolutely.
I have friends, and to see that you're taking the time to incorporate this into your practice and your programs it's just commendable. It is a beautiful thing to see you do it with no stress and you do it with ease. You do it with ease.
Thank you. Let's talk about Daniel Russo.
Oh, Daniel, so
and
the first thing that
Karate
we
Kid,
all
the
learn.
original.
The original, not like there's a whole bunch out right now.
Yes,
there's a whole bunch.
We
One,
can
two,
talk about
three,
them,
four.
but not today.
The girl, Jaden, now the new one. But we're talking about Ralph Macchio. I had
Right.
a crush on him. Oh my God, I had such a crush on
Wow,
him.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I did. I love that man. He doesn't even know it, but not now. I'm good. I think we learned in the first part of the movie is wax on, wax off.
Right.
And I know for it became paint the fence, it became sweep the floor, it became these very tedious things that are like a chore, and you're like, why am I doing this? So why is it important? I mean, I know in fitness it's a different meaning for those things, but what is wax on, wax off for you? Like, how do you?
Yes. Wax on, wax off for me is, being able to do things that you be able to react at a different situation. So, instead of being reactive, you want to be proactive. So if I do the wax on, wax off, but I'm painting, I'm wiping down the mirrors, and it helps me to learn basic foundation, but most importantly, muscle memory. Muscle memory is so important because that's what's going to save you in a life-threatening situation when someone throws a punch at you and you just react and you do the moves because it's been practiced repetitiously numerous times. So that's what the wax on, wax off is. And, even in the gym, I mean, you'll tell me, don't lift too heavy or don't do this because we have a different goal today. Don't change my game plan.
Well, I feel like if you skip the basics, you get broken.
Yes.
And if you continue to move past the basics, you're never going to progress. You're never going to see results. For me, I just feel like if you don't hydrate, eat, and sleep, those are the basics
Absolutely.
of fitness. And
Foundation, absolutely.
I know we were talking about like moving past when people throw you things, you're just like bobbing and you're bobbing and weaving and you're throwing shade over here. Boom, I just dodged that. Like I'm dodging bullets and I'm dodging the vibes and the spirits that you talk about. I don't want to talk about spirits. Those spirits make me nervous. But I feel that with the basics and applying that to, that must be something that takes years. Because there's a saying in your dojo about the black belt or the white belt.
Yes, a black belt is a white belt that never quit.
That's dope. Because I know I'm probably like jumping the gun, is that, I feel like in Bayonne, New Jersey, they're just handing out black belts, like left and right. And then when you go into your dojo, you're like, we're not giving out black belts just because people paid for them.
Right.
So it's like a PhD in in serious defense. And so that white belt is a black belt that never gave up.
A black belt's a white belt that never gave up. Because we're always a beginner. We're always learning. And once you become narrow-minded or close your mindset, then you stop learning. You hit your comfort zone. You should never be in your comfort zone. You should always be ready to adapt to change and progress to become successful, Your past achievements is only a stepping stone to your new achievements coming forward.
But people want to like run before they...
Absolutely. They want to be black belt. They want to fight full contact before they even have 3 months in the dojo. And then sometimes I allow them to jump in and learn a lesson the hard way, which is probably old school thinking, but it works for me.
Yeah, you have a little bit of that because I see a lot of that. Yeah. But anyway, that's further down the line. Sometimes I saw something I was like, oh my God, they're going to fight. They're going to fight. Oh my God, they're going to fight. So now the next thing is balance, right? Self-control in a chaotic world. And this world is extremely chaotic. So how do you train someone to stay calm under pressure?
Well, again, that's experience, of mind, body, spirit, and emotional. Once you understand your emotions, you learn that you don't have to react to everything. You could be indifferent. You could stay calm. You could if somebody's screaming at you, you don't want to scream back because obviously you're going to get into a physical, hostile, aggressive situation. So you want to calm your voice down. Some people say the word chill or
don't tell
calm
me to chill.
down, but some people don't like that. They get more reactive.
Yeah, but you say chill, but that's because you're confident.
Right.
Because if you tell somebody to chill and they like come at you like what pow, like you just like I told you my trigger words, and I'm working on the trigger words. And when someone says relax, don't tell me to relax.
Right.
Relax is still like a trigger word for everybody across.
Calm down.
Oh my God! Like don't tell me to calm down.
Right.
Especially when I'm all hyped up and I'm like, you know something? I'm gonna calm down. I'm really gonna calm down now after you told me to.
You're overreacting.
Oh, don't tell me that. Do not tell me that. Now I'm going to go even harder on my emotions.
Right.
But so like, let's just say like you're in a tournament and your student is about to go against like a bolo or like somebody like blood sport, right? And you see it in their face that they're like stressed out. Like what would you tell them?
I immediately would tell the rest, I need a timeout. I have to talk to him for a second. And then I kind of give him a quick speech in his ear and say, hey, you're in a fight today, so you can't lay back. You can't, you have to attack, So we always just say, attack the problem, not the person. So don't fight his fight. You have to bring him to your skill set because you're faster than him and he's bigger, he's stronger, but you got to use speed to to be advantageous. So,
So you bring them back to the skills.
Yeah, bring them back to the skills. You got to trust the technique, trust the process.
Trust the technique. That's a good. Is that still the song? Trust. No, maybe it's not. I don't know. I just threw that in there. But yeah, no, that's good because I could see you. I mean, you calm me down a lot in many day to day in real life. So that's why I say the karate does spill into.
And that's why we're the yin and yang here because we're both bound. And you know what's good about you? You're also teaching me. About myself a little bit because
a lot.
I kind of hide my feelings. I kind of don't show and display that. Kind of stoic in a sense.
It's very rare, and I like it when I see you vulnerable.
Right. I don't like to show that at all.
Because I'm like, I got the Grand Master telling me that he's not okay today.
Right. So, and you go through your emotions, and what's good, like I said, you could call me on stuff, and I don't get mad. You don't. One thing I don't do is get mad. I'll listen. I'll get quiet, though, and I'll say, okay.
You do get quiet.
She's on a roll today. Is it me, or did I just trigger her on something that was actually going on?
No, most of the time when it's because I could see it in your work, or I could see your energy, and I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. And why aren't we like, and you're like, it was Netflix.
Yeah, I might stay up. I might go on a Netflix binge.
I'm like, oh, here we go with Netflix again. I'm like, don't stay up.
That goes back to your phrase. You need what? Sleep. Good
you need
breakfast.
To eat, and you need to hydrate.
And you need to hydrate.
And then you come in and you don't eat. And I'm like, what's you look?
Yeah, I'm big at fasting in the morning, but I'm working on that because I'm not a big breakfast person. I like my coffee. Maybe a piece of bread, maybe some pita bread or something, or yogurt.
I think when you do eat, you do lift better.
A little stronger.
But that is stronger. That's our conversation. We're not going to talk about the secrets of like what goes on in the gym. Right. But so this is a good one.
Okay.
Don't be there. The best way to win a fight is to not be in one. How funny is that one?
So her, because she's from Boogie Down Bronx.
The BX, baby.
It's a different mentality because you can't talk your way out of all fights. Everybody knows that. But don't be there just doesn't mean, just not to duck or weave or bob. It means to avoid it, to walk across the street, to not engage in a conversation that might open you to being attacked. So we call it, that's where verbal jiu-jitsu starts to come in, and we were talking about that another day. But verbal jiu-jitsu is important because you got to know phrases, what to say in the midst of a storm, in the midst of attack. And that's where you got to say to yourself, okay, they're hyped up. And I gave her a suggestion we were talking about the other day. What would you say to somebody? But you try to flip a little reverse psychology by saying, are you okay? Is everything all right?
But I know, like, being from the Bronx, like, we twist everything. So, like, are you okay could mean 25 things. Right. Are you okay meaning, like, are you okay? Right. Are you good?
Right.
You know, absolutely, like, it's like a way of, like, starting something. Mm-hmm. And then you're also like, I'm okay, I'm good. And then when you go, oh, you good? You good? You good? And then it's like, now something is starting out of nothing.
That's where verbal de-escalation comes in. You have to learn how to verbal but there's times it won't work.
No.
I have to be quite frank. And then it's on. Like I tell you,
it just pops off.
It's on like hot butter on popcorn.
I was a good girl. My mom kept me isolated, and every time I went outside, I walked into shit. Like a girl would pull me by my hair or drag me down the block, or if I looked a little cute and I wore something, oh, she's trying too hard, or, I was walking outside fearing for my life all the time, because if I wasn't with my cousins or if I wasn't with my parents or my uncles, I was left open. So I think in my older years, that's why I am the way that I am. And I think you're helping me. I don't even want to say it because I feel like it's like, when you're healing childhood trauma.
Sure.
Because of being in those situations where you can't talk yourself out.
So things happen and we try to keep that suppressed. But there's a time and a point in our life that we have to just talk about it and get it out. Sometimes you do family counseling, or sometimes you talk to people like me. Yeah. Or sometimes I talk to people like you, and I got friends that we talk to as well. But I made my circle a lot smaller because I realized not everybody is rooting in your corner.
No.
So, you got to be aware of your surroundings. And you came up street smart, so now you're what we call street smart and wiser. So that's why you are who you are. But, you're good at coming back and trying to diffuse the situation. In my personal, because I got to watch you in the gym, and I got to watch a few things, and we won't gonna go into details.
We won't.
And I see that you try to handle it, and you just walk away, and that's the way you're supposed to do.
Well, you do come to my defense a lot, and you're like, she got it. She got it. Like, she's gonna. But have you ever avoided a fight that could have gone bad?
Yeah, in fact, a few of them. I was just talking about James. I was here not too long ago with James King, and we were talking about some brazen behavior that happened. I got a fender bender on Communicore, and the old ghetto came out of me, of course.
You?
And I went to chase the car down with 5 kids in the car. You can see the smoke coming out of the car, and the police were telling me, pull it over, because they bumped me. They literally bumped me intentionally because they wanted to get past me, and I wouldn't let them get by because there was no room. So nothing happened to the car, but, when I got out, I'm like, pull it over. And, of course, they just took off 90 miles an hour right over the bridge.
So my
goal was to get the plate number and the make of the vehicle.
And possibly get them out of the car?
No, actually, that wasn't even on my mind. But James had brought to my attention, what if they stopped and got out of the car?
Exactly. What would have happened?
You know what? I would have dealt with it at the moment.
You would have laid them out. You would have.
Well, you don't want to do that because we would have stopped the whole traffic on 1 and 9 there,
Oh, I would have wanted to see that.
That would not have been a good scene.
No, I don't want you in those situations, but my money's on you. Yeah, so, my money's on you.
But
so
avoidance.
So Cobra Kai, right, preaches domination, and Miyagi teaches restraint. Yeah. And I feel like in our everyday real life, I feel like we have a whole bunch of Cobra Kais that surround you.
You know what? There's people. This is the way, the law of the land. Only the strong will survive. So they're told, even men when they're young, they have to be nurturers. They have to be leaders. They have to be lions. And if you're not a wolf or you're not a lion, then you're not manning up, as they say. But you have to have peace, and you have to have love. You have to have happiness. I always go to a phrase that if God didn't create a spirit of fear, but of love and power and sound mind. So if you understand that and you know that verse, when things come at you, you don't have to always come everything with aggression or hostility, even though someone's coming at you with that. Instead, you just become the peaceful warrior. And when it's time to fight is when they put their hands up and there's no more talking. And, you have to do what you have to do to keep your life preserved because you're a family member. You're a mom. You don't want to get stabbed. You don't want to get pulled in the car. You don't want to get shot, And that's what life's about.
I feel like it's kind of the same in the fitness world, too, because, we're in a small town. I mean, Bayonne, Jersey City, that's very close. And I feel like, we train in a very small studio, but it is an amazing experience there. But then they're building all of these other newer, fancier, bigger, and then all of a sudden a new gym comes in, and then they're the best, they're the strongest, they're the hardest, they're the ones that know the most. And for people like us who I like to say we're vintage and we have the experience in real life situations versus an influencer who has a gazillion followers, and I'm sure you find it in the martial arts world where all of these different forms of, they take karate, but then they keep splicing it up and changing it up, and then all of a sudden, I'm better than you. Right. I'm hardcore. Train with me. You're gonna, we're gonna knock you people out, and you're big on not putting people in these situations that they're not ready for.
Right.
And there's a whole bunch of Cobra Kais and a whole bunch of fancy gyms that are forcing people to do, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but they feel like they're dominant, they're confident, they're harder.
It's about philosophy, right? So we teach the traditional philosophy. There's an old thing from a movie called Circle of Irons called "The Way of the Monkey is to Walk Around Him." Unmask his ego, and you'll find a coward disguised as a monkey. So what are we dealing with? We're dealing with bullies. The monkey's the bully.
I hate bullies.
So bullies, they only know one way. They know how to tease, provoke, attack. They don't come at you one-on-one. They come at you with a group of 5 or 10. So they're only strong in their group. But you catch a bully alone, you take him out of his game, and then you see what he's really made of, or what she is really made of. Because there's women, too, who are bullies.
For sure.
And some people have personality disorders. Some people have traumas that trigger them. And sometimes it's not their fault, I have to say. But you don't need to be the victim of their problems. And that's the key. You know, be a victim.
That's still
be a victim, not a victim.
the victims and the bullies and the people that's always going to be like something I think that we're challenged with every day, especially
Right.
you being a business owner and me being a trainer and also managing businesses
Sure.
for other people.
And you had your own business at one
I
time,
did.
correct? Okay.
Yes, me and my kid's father, we had a successful gym, and
Great.
when COVID hit,
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. COVID
Yeah.
was tough for a lot of people.
yeah. I mean, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been doing this for over three
decades. Yeah.
decades. So it always boils down to the basics of fitness and to be successful in it and to keep going at it, but then closing out the noise. Like, to still be successful when people are trying to kill regular training, trying to kill karate, and trying to constantly bring in and you know, it's still karate and it's still fitness.
You know, I'm kind of optimistic. I always say my glass is half full. And being that said, you always say, okay, they're gonna do that. They're gonna come in with a new gym. But honestly, I like competition. It makes me a little better.
Yeah, you're an
Yeah, so it's
international
like, yeah.
champion.
Yeah, so competition makes me a little better. And you know, like sometimes I want to go back into full contact competition. So you know, one of my coaches, mentors, his name is Mike Hurley, and he says to me, "What do you need? A new trophy? What do you need? You need a new what? You need to build a key. How many trophies do you need?
Yeah.
You're at the age now where you should stay coaching and build your business so that you can live off the fruits of your labor.
Well, that's
You know what
smart
I mean?
advice.
So, and if you get re-injured, then
What-
you can't even do what you used to do.
Right.
So at this point, it's good sparring the students. It's great going to competitions, being a promoter, tournament promoter. I mean, I did a great tournament for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. We coined it "Fighting for a Cure."
I like that.
And you know, it was important because I'm a big advocate for wayward kids, at-risk kids, and kids because I grew up in the projects and I know what can happen in poverty. I know what can happen with parents and friends who do alcohol and drugs. And I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen it
Yeah.
all. I've been through it all. And, you know, the most important thing is the rebound, how we overcame that and didn't fall
but
into that.
that's what amazes me about you, because we talk about those were the days. We talk about like back in the day when we were in the hood and we grew up in the projects and the pissy hallway steps and all of those different, like, you know, the smell of the projects, the people we were surrounded by, and we were never products of our environment. You know,
Right,
we were.
sure.
You are an extremely successful human being who doesn't let your past, you know, affect your future.
Yeah, I don't let my past dictate my future or dominate my intellect. So if you are out there and you're doing the best that you can do, you don't look at your past endeavors. You always look forward. You know, you keep your eyes forward.
I have a
on the
problem
ball.
with
Keep
looking
your eyes
forward.
on the ball.
I have a problem
Don't
with
drop
that.
the ball.
I have
Don't
a
drop the
problem. I
ball.
drop the ball all the time. My
Okay.
ADD. I look around and I'm just
Right.
like, and I keep. I mean, you censor me because then when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna train Austin tomorrow, I have a boatload of like, I'm gonna unload. And then sometimes I'm like, I did good this week. I did good, because it's always like every week I'm always trying to be better. I'm always trying to make better decisions.
You said a word to me earlier, and I realized we all judge ourselves. That's the toughest thing that we have to work on, not judging yourself, and as we judge other people. So you want to look at people in a positive. I'm not cynical. So I probably tend to look at people as a better person than I do look at them as not a good person. But until I see them do something out of character, like you couldn't tell me about somebody and pass that prejudice on to me. I'd have to see that character.
Yeah,
for
let
myself.
me form that opinion.
Yeah, let me form that opinion. But people tend to do that. Oh, you don't know about so and so.
No, I always look at you. I always look at you and I'm like, do not talk to that person.
I hate that stuff. So
And you're like,
and I used to get involved with that as a kid, and catch myself because you get caught up in the drama and you have to walk away and shut your mouth. I think the tongue is probably one of the worst weapons that are out there, because you can lift people up, encourage them, pick them up, or you can take them down and make them
but that's why
feel
you don't
bad.
have that Cobra Kai sickness, because the Cobra Kai mentality is toxic. And, there's a lot of toxic people in this world. I feel like toxic is normal for me, but again, I don't know what's toxic and not toxic. And everyone's like, that's toxic, that's toxic, that's toxic.
You know it's toxic, but you don't know until it hits you in the face.
I mean,
like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
I mean, there's just like everything is just like, when people finally threw that word toxic out there, it's like now everything is toxic, everything is toxic, everything. Right. And I'm just like, that's normal to me. So it's like, what's behavior? All I know is like, don't be mean. Do not be mean.
There's a good phrase, the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
All day.
But the problem with that is not everybody's going to do the same as you.
No, they won't.
And
I learned that. I learned that hard. No one's going to.
We all have to learn the hard way. But we're not perfect. Again, we make mistakes. Going back to
Cobra Kai. So at the end, the tournament scene where he does the kick, and he finally,
the crane stand,
everything comes together.
Yes.
And all of the training and then it's
but
like.
But prior to that, what do? What does Cobra Kai coach the sensei tell him? Because Sensei Miyagi is very good, very calm.
He didn't. Well, he said what is it? Sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg.
He said sweep the leg.
And the kid didn't want it because he felt he could beat him. He didn't need to do a dirty tactic.
A little bit of his like guilt probably came through there. He was like, whoa, I'm already messing him up. Like, why do I have to take him out?
Yeah, guilt definitely stepped in. But he had to respect his sensei. And if your sensei tells you to do that and you don't do it, then you're frowned upon. But that sensei was very strict.
He was.
Very
intimidating.
Kind of a megalomaniac in a sense.
Yeah.
He's narcissistic for sure.
Whoa.
I mean, we could throw some terms out there, but that's what made the movie. But why would you not want to hurt the guy if you could win in your heart and you're telling your coach he should believe in you too and have some faith. And that's where faith and domination.
Well, that's where you talk about the spirits, right? Yeah. Where you talk about like the evil telling you to do something.
Right. We talked about that in my last story about the wolf. You got one side telling you good things, another side telling you to do bad stuff. Who do you choose? The one you feed the most. So if you're feeding negativity, you're going to do the negative thing. If you're feeding positivity.
Because it's easier.
Yeah, because it's easier.
It's easier.
Until you get caught in lies and more lies. And,
But so when Daniel-san, when he, you're the best. So he comes into this. So he does this and then he wins not because he's the strongest.
Right. No, he because he trusted the technique and he listened to Sensei Miyagi. If you don't remember, he was injured, so they had to take him to the locker room, and he did that. Yeah, he did his little Tai Chi and little
that doesn't work for me on a daily. I tried. I've tried it. I've tried to. And I'm like, my knee, why this knee?
See, that's what happens because belief is stronger than truth, right? So people say, the world says seeing is believing. See, in the spiritual realms, believing is seeing. So if you believe that something's going to happen, you manifest it, you visualize it, and you make it come to pass. If you don't practice it, it doesn't work.
I'm still working on the manifestation
you're work in progress,
thing.
But you're work in progress.
But I did like one of those vision boards and.
Okay.
A couple
for
of
how
those,
many days, or months, or weeks?
Listen, I left that vision board on my refrigerator for 2 years.
2 years.
2 years, and
Did
I was
you
supposed
apply
to
the techniques?
I feel like I was like looking at it, and I kept willing it, and I was like, when is it gonna happen? Like I kept looking, and there was just like there was little things started to happen, but there was a mic on there and headphones, and we're here. So I think that actually did happen.
Okay.
And this has been something because we've been talking
Big
about
Mouth
this.
Studios,
yeah,
big up.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello. And because I have a big mouth, I have a lot to say. Don't make me go English on you. But the en Boricua, and I'm Rican. Big shouts to the culture, for the culture in NYC. I went to. Oh, I got you a gift. That reminds me. So with the Puerto Ricans, we like a chancleta. And you're very big on discipline.
I don't like chancleta because I got.
But this is a keychain.
Yeah,
this is a keychain.
Now I love them because I wear more than well,
so it's a chancleta with the Puerto Rican flag on it.
Gratitude, right?
And,
Attitude. Namaste,
I learned.
namaste.
Thank you. I learned wax on, wax off very early because I felt like my
Thank
mom
you.
was another
Wow.
Miyagi. Because when that chancleta used to come, you would just like bob and weave.
Yeah.
So you got your own little cute chancleta.
Thank you,
to,
thank you. I will wear that proudly.
Yeah, I was. So we are here, right? So now we're going to tie in
Okay.
that it's not only karate only, right?
Karate.
It's not only
I
karate.
love
I'm
that
sorry.
phrase. That's okay.
So it's like, what is a surprising lesson you've learned through martial arts?
Surprising lesson that everything is not the way it seems in the outside. People could tell you what the street fight's gonna look like, but when it actually happens, it's never gonna be textbooks. There's no rule book in the street. There's no should you do. Thank God for muscle memory because and God. You know, I see myself as a child of God, but you know, I believe in prayer, and I think I've been fortunate that I avoided a lot of situations. But my muscle memory has been blessed because I was able to do so many things and save my life just because I didn't say, should I block? Should I duck? Should I? It just went into action. And I couldn't tell you I could do that again, but I could tell you what the witnesses were all seeing. And I didn't see any of that. But witness seen a whole different story. But I won't get into that story.
But
today.
that was a surprising.
It was surprising.
Like how everything
because
came together.
I was able to fend off 6 people, and I thought only Bruce Lee can do that in the movies. So when I did it, I was like amazed after the fact because I was nervous as a wreck, hiding from the police who wanted to arrest me because they were looking for me after the situation. and I'm calling the police to turn myself in. I told you that story, but I was fortunate I had some guardian angels because you got some angels. I believe in angels too.
I just want to piggyback off of that because I feel like a surprising lesson in fitness for me is that no one is born fit. And just like
Absolutely.
no one's born a fighter,
Sure.
right? No one, and the fact that you can transform people through fitness and through karate, from skill set to results, to even watch people's bodies change is amazing. And to see people who believe and trust the process.
Well, that's what I like about you. You get results.
Yes.
So I've lost 10, 11 pounds with you. It's a slow process, so that's a plus. That's a
did
plus.
that. We did that. We did that.
And when you get results, you're comfortable with that person because you're getting results. More importantly, you bring your style or your personality. You keep it serious. You keep it on task. Sometimes we can have conversations and get off a topic or slow down and say, go back to over there.
Yeah.
We got to do this, and you keep me on task. So that's important because when you're by yourself in the gym, and I trained since with my father. He was a big weightlifter. He was into martial arts, kickboxing champion. He's my first sensei, Dennis Wright. So we're from the Ishinryu Okinawan karate lineage. So
I like when you say
understand,
Okinawa.
Yeah,
Okinawa.
so we understand that Miyagi theory because Miyagi originally is from Okinawa, and he's one of my founders, Tatu Shimabuku's trainers. His name is Miyagi. So there's actually a real guy in Okinawa named Miyagi that trained in martial arts karate, traditional karate. So it's amazing how that story came to pass. They used a real live person's name for the actor, and Sensei Miyagi he did a fantastic job.
He did.
God bless him. I don't think he's with
him.
us anymore. But we're
we
speaking about you, brother. God bless you.
I'm obsessed with Mr. Miyagi. I'm blessed that I have a real life one here with me, but I feel like our collaboration we've normally and naturally just been doing it. We've constantly referred people, like I refer people.
She refers people to my business. I refer people to her.
And that can go a long
absolutely.
way.
Word of mouth is key out there.
And that's why our collaboration just kind of like came together naturally. It wasn't forced ever. It was more like, hey, so your kid is getting bullied in school. I got the guy. Who's going to make sure that shit doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
And then you're like, there's this girl, she trains people, and she trains all levels.
And you get results.
results.
More importantly, she individualizes a program that works for you. And, she'll talk to you about, meaning you, what do you want to do here? You want the fitness part? You want it all? You want to get bulky? You want to get cut? And that's her job. She will tell you what you need to do. The question is, are you going to follow it? And that's the hardest part with people.
I think
they
with
don't
us
follow
is that we're constantly talking to people and helping
people.
And impacting people, not only on the mat and not only in the studio, but also like the mental and the mindset part where it comes in where I'm exhausted talking to so many people. Like, people run away from me in the supermarket because they think I'm going to talk to them about fitness. I'm just like, you don't need to.
Yeah, I have the opposite. Listen to this. People come to me, want to talk to me about karate. I'm going to come back. I want to sign up, but they just want to talk to me.
Yeah,
Listen,
I know.
I'm a human being. Just talk to me. How you feeling today? How's your world? What are you doing new? Are you still working as an educator? Are you retired? What's going on? I mean, I know you're only 45, but I came alive at 45.
Yeah. No, people cross the street when they see me. I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about.
Because they think that. I get that too.
If you don't
I
want to
get
train with
that.
me, it's okay.
Yeah,
like,
and
it's
I'm not
fine.
mad at you.
I'm not.
People move on. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, and even like I have clients who are with me and they leave and then they come back.
Yeah, they come back. Absolutely.
And then they leave again. Or I have people who I've started their fitness journey. So, I understand for our collaboration, it's very important to build community, and we are in a small community.
Well, I'm in Jersey City too. So,
I know, but I feel like, you're not too far.
And we travel. So, I got stuff going in Dominican Republic. I had stuff going in Italy, and North Carolina. So,
This guy.
I tend to bounce around a little bit.
A
but
lot.
I love to be out there in the public. Impact the world, connect to other people. And what's good about the martial arts, as in fitness, we don't look at the individual. We look at the goals. We look at what their plan is, what they want. And again, what's the most important thing in life? To get results, For me, I have to be humble. As I get older, I learn humility is better. Character building is better. Integrity is better,
Yeah, but that's a lot. Those
a
are
lot.
big. Those are big things to work on. They don't really. So let's just say, like, I mean, I think we should like start landing the plane a little with our messages. How would someone start? Like, how would
That's
someone
a great question.
start?
Uni T.
Hello.
So, whether it's fitness or martial arts, the best thing to do is just go in and take a 2-week trial class. There's no commitment. There's no contract to that. And you could see if this is something you want to do. But, you don't have to have a passion for everything. People have been bullied. James told me some stories, but, James was smart. James knew how to avoid all that stuff.
He was a talker. He knew how to talk his way out.
And he had a game plan.
I'm not a talker.
And he had a game plan. So
I'm not a talker. I pop
he
off.
had a game plan and nothing happened because he knew how to do the right thing before it happened. So that was his gut instinct, intuition, and he became successful at that. Now he's running his own business. Despite COVID going on, he's still, opening up doors for other people like myself, like you, to get the word out there for Universal Warrior Mixed Martial Arts, or my book, Self-Defense 101, another book, Universal Warrior Arts. So the goal the goal is to, to get the word out there. And this program here that Big Bow Studios is allowing us to do is getting our word out there, getting what we do out there from a personal perspective, not from what the haters might have said about us, or not from what you judging me because you think I'm all that. I'm not.
But you are.
I'm not.
But
I
you
am
are.
a very humble
and I
person.
am too.
And
but not really.
Yeah.
But I say, like, for people to, like, just to start your fitness journey, you don't have to come to me, but you should start. And however you start, it could be a walk.
Where's the address to Level Up?
It's 7. I don't know.
It's on 38th Street.
It's on
correct?
30. The corner of 36.
36.
The corner of 36 and Broadway
Right on
in
the
Bayonne.
corner,
I don't know the
36.
number.
No problem.
7 something. Oh my God! Don't
That's okay.
fire me.
That's
I
all
love
right.
you.
Yeah, we're in Jersey City too.
Yeah.
So we have a school on Kennedy Boulevard, 1683 Kennedy Boulevard.
Look at you fancy.
So we have a program for everybody. That's what's important. So we have kickboxing, we have jiu-jitsu, we have MMA, which is amateur, and we go to full contact point karate, weapons.
Yeah,
kata,
I saw the weapons. The weapons was
it's
gangsta.
so much fun because that's what I like about traditional martial arts. We could teach all that, and then even if you quit or you get hurt, you still have something you can do. There's something for everybody.
No, I like those weapons.
Yeah.
Those weapons were real. Anyway, that's a whole other. That was mesmerizing.
So in closing,
from Bayonne to the dojo, from the weight room to the tournament mat, we've seen it's not about being the strongest. It's about being balanced, focused, and true to yourself.
True to yourself is a great phrase.
Do you have anything to?
I just want to say that, in closing, that when it comes to a street fight, de-escalation is the first line of defense. And we always have to remember not to attack the person, attack the problem. Very important, attack the problem. Because if we don't, then it's personal. And we don't know what the other person's going through. So with that being said, I want to say namaste, us. God be with you, and thank you, Uni T, and a place to be.
Thank you for having me.
Big Mouth Studios here.
In the hizzy, in the house.
In the house. I appreciate us coming on and doing this interview to get the word out.
Yes.
And thank you so much.
Thank you for having
me.
me.
You did a great job.
I
I'm
appreciate
so happy.
you. Me too.
All right.
I did okay.
I'm stoked.
Holla.